Hey, what's up, everybody? Colt 45 here. I had a little idea, very limited one, but I had an idea. Basically, what I wanted to do with you guys was do a little bit of a let's play with my very limited resources. So I'm gonna call this a shitty play. And I'm just going to be walking forward the whole aspects of Dark Souls and whatnot, just playing the game as I would normally play it. Okay. So, here are the different classes for Dark Souls, and the one I'm going to be going with, since I'm going for a Paladin build, which is high faith and high strength, I'm going to be going with the Knight because I get a little boost to faith. Okay, the only really useful one of these starting gifts is the Master Key. So every single person will always choose the Master Key, pretty much regardless. The Pendant is worthless, binoculars are worthless, Twin Humanities are useful to an extent, Black Fire Bombs can get used up very easily. So I think you only get 5, I'm not sure. The Goddess's Blessing is it restores all your HP and cleans up any status effects, including curse buildup. But you only get like 3 of those, and even then, cursing isn't really much of an issue in this game. Tiny Bane's Ring, you can get that later on in the game. An Old Witch's Ring only lets you talk to a certain NPC, so the Master Key will unlock any basic lock within the game. So, in my opinion, that's the only worthwhile one. I'm gonna go with the large physique, because I imagine Paladins being really big. Face. And since he's a priest, well basically it's since he's a paladin, I'm gonna go with the Thurlin Cleric. Hair. Wild. Color. Gold. Alright, looking good. Hold on. Okay. So I'm going to confirm the character and I'm going to let you guys watch the cutscene.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arched trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Meeting the first of the day. The Witch of Isaac and her daughters of chaos. Grim, the Lord of Sunlight, and his baleful knights. Soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, in our lonely embers, the man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
Okay, so that sort of lays the foundation for the story. Oh, nothing there.
Yes,
Camera could
indeed.
handle it.
The dark side brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Alright, so we get the dungeon cell key. Now let me overlay a couple of mechanics for you guys. Right now I'm wearing really heavy armor. This is the knight's armor. And my roll looks like this. Press circle, the circle button in the direction with the circle button, it will roll. And you can keep rolling, but if you notice up in the top left-hand corner that the green bar is going down. The green bar is stamina, and it's very important to conserve that. And of course, the top red bar is health, and the little numer and the little digits up in the corner. Here, let me see if I can't zoom in on it. Got a little number up in the corner. So. Yeah, there it is. That is your humanity. Alright. That is your humanity, and that will play a huge part when you want to be human or when you want to kindle your bonfire. You need humanity. Now, if you were to go over to here, the triangle, if you look to the far right and the third option down, I'll zoom in on it. On my equipment load, you can't really see it that well, but it's 26 units out of 50, which is over half. So when it's over half, it causes you to fat roll. Well, it causes you to fat roll, like so. But if we were to reduce my equipment load by, let's say, removing my helmet, now I'm reduced to 21.8 units, which is less than half. And when it's less than half, I mid-roll, like that. And if I were to remove all of my armor. I think it's less than a quarter. Should be less than a quarter. But if it's less than a quarter, in which this case 1/4 of 50 is okay. So somewhere roughly about 12-ish. So let's see if my theory is correct. Well, my hypothesis, really. Yep. Okay. This is fast roll. So you get the rolling mechanics down. Okay. But right now we want a mid roll. Fast roll is nice and all, but I can't utilize invincibility frames that well. The invincibility frames is that there are specific frames within your roll where you are invincible. So you'll have an arrow coming at you, you can roll right through it, and nothing will happen to you. Now I'll demonstrate this later, but I'm more of a shield guy. I don't like utilizing invincibility frames. And also, just as a forewarning, I am looking at this whole thing on a very small screen on my camera. And so there might be some effects that I see on the camera that either may or may not be in the actual video. Now, if you saw before that there was a guy on the roof that dropped a body for us in the same armor as I am, if you look up there, there is a demon. Not sure if you can see it that well, but there is a demon up on the roof that will jump down as soon as we enter in. Alright. Now you escape this guy. There's a little doorway right here. Go through the doorway, head down the stairs, and you got another bonfire. As you can see, my current weapon doesn't do much damage. It's because it's a broken sword Colt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to de-equip this. Go here. Get my shield. It's the tower kite shield. Okay, so when you block, when you block a hit, it will take part of your stamina down, like so. Like if this guy were to hit me while I was walking. See, it took a little bit of my stamina down. But now, if you were to look at the top left-hand corner, zoom in considerably. When I do this, stamina's being lost, and then it regenerates, right? Regenerates pretty quickly. But then if I were to keep doing it, and then I were to block, it goes up much slower. But as soon as I let go, it goes faster. So learning how to manage your stamina is really key in this game. Okay, so the vital functions of the shield, small shields, is to block and to parry. I'll go over parrying when I get my weapon. Oh, yeah, look, the archer's gone. When I get my weapon, it should be a broadsword. Yes, it is a broadsword. Alright. Okay. Now in this game I'm on the PlayStation, so R1 and R2. R1 is your basic attack, and R2 is your strong attack. And you can keep doing this as much as you like, as long as your stamina permits it. If you press the triangle button, you will two-hand your weapon. You will do more damage, but you can't rely on the shield anymore. And now, a little trap up here. little boulder trap, and I have a way of, and there's a way of getting around it. Most people just run up and run back, but I like to make use of where I'm going, so. Let's open this shortcut, and hey, we're back in the courtyard where the bonfire is. But we don't need that bonfire. Screw that bonfire. This guy, no one, like, in the games, his name is not directly stated. However, there was a leaked plot line involving this character, and we found out his name is Oscar of Astora. Now, normally I would kill this guy just to save time, but we're gonna listen to his dialogue.
Oh, you. You're not home. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon. It was my sanity. I wish to ask something. You and I are both out of bed. Hear me out. Regrettably, I have failed in membership, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There's an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead have shut head. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Okay, what he just gave you is an Estus Flask, which is your healing item to the game. Now, you start off with 5 with every bonfire at base level, with the exception of Firekeeper bonfires. Those are the bonfires that you have to have a specific NPC alive in order to use them. Now, the cool thing about the Estus Flask is that you get all your Estus Flasks back whenever you rest at a bonfire. And if you kindle the bonfire, you get more Estus Flasks. Okay. So, Oscar's dead. Yep, I got 100 souls. And souls in this game is currency, and it also acts as your way to level up. You need a certain amount of souls in order to level up, and the number of souls that are required to level up increase with every subsequent level. So now we have our enemy, and we're locked on him, which, by the way, pro tip, always lock on. It will help you. Okay, so we're going to try and parry this guy. That is parrying. Now, when their hand gets close to your shield, or close to the character, it's a really good time to parry. And really, it's just about timing, which I'm doing poorly. You can follow it up with a riposte by hitting the attack button afterwards. Now that was great. That was a great way of killing enemies, but it's also kind of ballsy, and there are some enemies where you don't want to take the risk. So you can do another critical hit. Now we're just to rule one of them out, kill this one. Okay. Got it. Go right behind him. That's called the backstab. That was actually an ass stab. But it's actually not directly behind the enemy. You have to go slightly to the side. Remember that. There are so many times where I didn't get a backstab because I was directly behind somebody. Alright, here. Alright. We'll show you invincibility frames. See how the arrow passed right through me? That's because it's hitting certain frames where I'm invincible. Alright, here's some messages. Oh yeah. just basically what I just went over. Okay, so this guy, it's not too hard. He is different, but really not that bad. Now let's see if we can't wear it and still mid-roll. Nope. No. Oh well. Okay. Now, I won't have enough time to describe it to you guys, but when I go through there, I'll be right above the Silent Demon. And if you drop and press attack before you hit the boss, it'll do a plunging critical attack. And it'll take a huge chunk of health, and you will have a little animation, and you'll hop up, and the fight will proceed as normal. Or, what you can do with this particular boss is a jumping attack. Now, a jumping attack is forward and R2, and it looks like this. As a jumping attack, and if an enemy is blocking, and you want to do a little bit extra damage to him, what you can do is break his guard by kicking. Here, let me get a better angle, right? Yeah, like that, okay. So now I'm going to try doing a jumping attack. Alright. So that was the Asylum Demon, not really that big of a problem. Also, if you want to communicate between players, you press the select button and you select your gestures. Or if you want, they have like little 6-axis commands on there. So if you wanted to do it without going through the menus and pressing X, you can hold X and do the little... come on. Come on. There you go. You hold X and then do the little 6-axis control scheme, and it will it'll pop up with a gesture. Okay. I do plan on getting a video card and actually doing an actual awesome Let's Play of this game, but as I said before, my resources are extremely limited, so that probably won't be happening anytime soon, so don't hold your breath on it. Also, if at times I go silent, that means I just need to focus, so don't take it as I have nothing to say or anything like that, it's just I need to focus. I'm gonna go up and meet a crow.
In the ancient legends, it is stated that one day an undead to leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Alright, we'll level up. I'm gonna dump all this into strength. I'm gonna go do a suicide run real quick. Because I'm trying to get this Y-hander, because that's the weapon I'm going to be using for now until I get Tarkus's gear. And then when I get Tarkus's gear, which I'll explain who Tarkus is later on in the playthrough, I'm going to be using the Paladin's gear. There's a little item back here, just a little soul item, and the soul item just gives you more souls. That's pretty much it. But I thought that was kind of funny in the opening cinematic. Well, not the opening cinematic, but the cinematic that brought you here. It says, the land of ancient lords, Lordran. Wow, going down on the most original name ever. Hander, gonna go get binoculars while I'm at it, just in case I need to look at anything closely. Fuck all you. Now, if you notice in the bottom right-hand corner, I had 14 souls and now I have 0. Ah, crap, come on. Whatever. Tripod's not gonna let me. Alright, well, I had 0 in the bottom right-hand corner. Because I lost all my souls. I can go get them back if I just touch my soul pile again. Okay, so this item right here is very important. Humanity. You get 3 humanities. If I remember correctly, before the patch, it was 1. Well, before the patches, it was 1. Now we're gonna talk to this guy.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no celebration here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are actually 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happened. Brilliant. Not much to go on. I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land, the undead. Your face. Your handkerchief. Very hollow, I'm so frightened. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, you have a few minutes to go back. Collected bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I never do it, is to kill every undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting their neighbor is only human, after all. What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it. What? You want to hear that? Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul. Well, listen carefully then. One of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You will have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the undead bird through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the undead bird, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'll die again before I step foot in that cesspool.
Fuck Blight Town.
Bloody hell, what is it now? You ask too many questions.
Well, fuck you. I'm gonna ask some more.
What now?
I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
Alright, so pretty much his purpose here is just to lay everything out for the character, for the player. Okay, so we can go two ways. If you go up here, which I will, just because many of the beginning players will go up here. This is to the first area. However, you can go behind the Firelink Shrine and go down to the catacombs. You can go down to New Londo if you really feel like it, or if you're like me, like my character, you can go down through New Londo all the way and tail your way all the way back, all the way to the Undead Burg, which is the next area. So that way you don't activate the dragon that you will see later on. But the reason why I'm doing this right now is because one, I really wanted to do a Let's Play with live commentary. But, like I said, I lack the material, so I just wanted to try the best I could. I also wanted to see how the quality would hold up. Oh, come on. Alright. Okay. Heal. Good character. Also, if you guys hadn't noticed, I really like to parry. There's some times where I just don't. As a matter of fact, I think up until Anor Londo, that's when parrying starts to stop. Oh, okay. I can outlay another mechanic here. If I were to fall off, see how my character just sort of staggered a bit? So if I were to go back up here again, walk off, trying to move. Nope, it wouldn't let me move doing that. So any Souls veteran would do this. As soon as they hit the ground, they would roll like this. Yeah, you do take a little bit of the health penalty, but you still have your mobility. And also, unfortunately, this game has the worst jumping controls and platforming to date. But if you were to go off in a if you were to hold circle and go off in a direction, whoops. If you tap circle, you do a backstep like this. But there's really no use to the backstep. Unless you're trying to do a backstep attack, which you backstep and press R1. And that's a little unique attack. But if you hold circle in a direction, usually you have to walk in the direction and hold circle instead of just holding circle and then walking in a direction. It'll run, it's just you do the little back step first. So what you do is you run and then you tap the circle button while running and you do a little jump. It seems like one of those things that you won't really get used to, but it's weird because you can get used to it. Now, if I were to start running and then attack, I do a separate attack, like that. It's much similar to the backstep attack. But then, if you were to roll and then do an attack, it has a different animation as well, like that. Okay, so we have a ring over here, which isn't that important. It's nice to have around, but it's not something that you would use. Ring of Sacrifice. Okay, the Ring of Sacrifice. The mystical rite was created in sacrificial rite of Velka, the goddess of sin. Its wearer will lose nothing upon death, but the ring itself breaks. This is the ring that the Ring of Life Protection is modeled in Dark Souls 2, which I will do a shitty play of Dark Souls 2, but I just had my fucking rage. Yeah, God, I played the new the Crown of the Iron King DLC with my Hex build, and it's not Hex build friendly. I'll just put it that way. Okay, so we're gonna go in here through the rathways, and then there's this giant rat right here. Fuck this rat. It will drop humanity every once in a while because the item discovery system is that it's not what the character has on them, much like Skyrim, but it's actually a random chance of getting what that enemy has on them. So there's only a random chance that this enemy will drop a short sword or a broken straight sword. So, to me, I find that system a little, it makes less sense, but it makes farming a little bit fun, a little bit more rewarding. Also, yeah, if you jump right over there, then you get, and then you jump over to here, there's a humanity there waiting for you. Okay, and this asshole's gonna start throwing bombs at us, but we're gonna say fuck him. Whoops, too early. Oof. Yeah, I haven't played Dark Souls in a while. I have a Tarkus build, and if you guys want to see the other builds, then just let me know, and I'll show you around my builds. It's just, my thing is when I name characters, I don't put much thought into it, and it's usually because I'm bored. So that's why some of them are usually obscene or just weird. Okay, here's the Hellkite Dragon. Well, actually, no. If I remember correctly, it's a Drake. I'm not sure how that goes. Someone knows this? The difference between a Drake, a dragon, and a Wyvern? Please let me know. I've been dying to know. It's just I've never been asked to look up. Well, really, actually, the phrase goes, I can't be asked to look it up. Alright. I'm gonna get another shield here. The shield looks really cool, it's just, it's not that great. Now, when you have a shield, much like this one, you have all the damages and everything like that, like the percent damage reduction, like you have physicals at 100, magic's at 70, magic's at 30, fire's at 70, lightning's at 50, and the stability is 58. Now the shield is the Tower Kite shield, which is the arguably the best shield that you can get. Well, the shield with the most defense out of all the starting gear. And also you have the required parameters down here, which shouldn't go ignored. This is the stats needed to wield any weapon. Now, I'll read them off from left to right, because they have the little symbols, but I can barely see them on the little screen. It's strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. Then you have durability, which durability isn't that an issue, and then you have weight, and that goes into the equipment mode. Now, the wooden shield. Now, the cool thing about it is if you press square to get all the stats on the shield that you've equipped, you can highlight another shield and it'll tell you the different stats. Like it has 93 physical damage reduction, 40 magic reduction, 30 fire reduction, 65 lightning reduction, and 52 stability. Now, stability is the amount of stamina lost when you block. Like if I were to block with the wooden shield, I would lose a lot more stamina than I would blocking with the Tower Kite shield. Now, that's all said and done. Sorry, that's fun. Okay, so I'm gonna go up here, and what I'm probably gonna do is just gonna take care of the Taurus demon and then cut it off because I have to be mindful of the time. And also, if you notice, I'm a little bit more calm and a little bit more organized, or scatterbrained, really. That's what I've noticed. Is that I've been recently diagnosed with ADHD, and I just got my new medication, and so it tends to numb me a little bit. Yeah, hit me all you want. You shit. And also, what that what that orange smoke was, or that orange little mist, is that someone kindled a bonfire right before, kindled the last bonfire rested, in this case that one. And so whenever you do that, it gives me an extra Estus flask. So if I were to kindle a bonfire, though, everybody who last rested at that same bonfire is going to get an extra, Estus flask. And it doesn't matter how much you have, but your limit's 20. So if I have 20 Estus flasks, and then someone were to kindle the bonfire, I wouldn't get a benefit from it. I would see the smoke, I would see a little haze, but I would not get a Estus flask. Now, you can't really kindle the bonfire. Oh god, what the fuck? Okay. You can't really kindle the bonfire until, oh hey, 2 items. I've never had that happen before. But, you can't really kindle the bonfire past the 10 Estus flasks, because you need a sacred rite from Pinwheel. But when you get to Pinwheel, you can upgrade it. You can kindle your bonfire until you have 20 Estus flasks. Although in my opinion, it is very unnecessary. But I usually like to do it just for the hell of it. All right, come here, bitch. Fuck you. You know what? Those guys are out of my way. I'm not going to deal with them. There are 3 guys up there throwing fire bombs, but they're really not an issue. And there's a corpse on there, but all it is just a soul item. Soul items in this game, unless it's pretty much from Soul of a Proud Knight up. The soul items aren't really worth that much. So, really, in my opinion, sometimes I'll just skip them. Now, usually I will go out of my way to get certain items, but for the most part, I will. But for the most part, sometimes I will. No, crap. Come here, bastard. Oh yeah, the enemies can heal too, by the way. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, beware of going down here. Down here is a Black Knight. Unless you're good at parrying or backstabs, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna die, because this guy deals a lot of damage. You know, you just keep parrying him to death, or just bring him out there to backstab to death. Funny thing is, I went down here the first time, and then he did an overhead slash, and oh god, not an overhead slash, but he just sort of swung out to the side, and my character, whoops, alright, got my concentration back. It also leaves you a small window to heal and stuff. And usually, you can get a Black Knight weapon fairly early on if he drops it. Nope. Okay. Well, that's a shame. But, you can actually get a Black Knight weapon fairly early on in the game. If you kill him, he has a random chance of dropping the Black Knight sword. And the Black Knight sword can carry you all the way through the game. Okay, so we have the blue Tearstone ring, which boosts our defense when our HP is low. I'm going to use this, because 1, it's the only ring we've got, and it's better than no ring. And 2, the other ring kind of blows anus. It's a trap! Now, we could do one of 2 things. Since we do have the master key, you can go off into this little door over here, and you can go down and fight Hovel. But right now I'm going to save Hovel for later, like when I have a stronger weapon. Be wary of Blizzard. Okay. Also, players will leave messages around, either to deceive you or to or to help you out, or just sometimes just to spell out random gibberish. But there's something I want to talk about. Oh yeah. There is a little mechanic in here called the human hollow mechanic. And the mechanic goes as, if you die in human form, you get revert to hollow. And when you are hollow, you do, your defenses are low and you can't do any co-op or PvP. You can put your summon sign down, which we will meet in NPC. Oh no, you don't. Which we will meet an NPC that does that. That will give us that item. But when you die, but when you get summoned, you help out other players, and then you can also invade to kill other players. But being able to summon other people for help, like if I needed help with this particular boss fight, which I will trigger in a minute, I would have to be human and summon people. And how you be human is you use a little humanity. Oh wait, just missed it. Okay, and now I'm going to use the humanity spray, and I want you to look at the top right hand corner. Alright, that counts how much humanity that you've used. You can also spend humanity in this game by going human. Now I'm going to use another one because I plan on returning to the bonfire and kindling it to show you guys that. But that is pretty much the mechanic of hollowing. And also, being hollow alters your appearance. But if I were to go human, my appearance would be drastically changed. Now I'm going to go over a couple methods. Now what you can do is you can use the golden pine resin for resins in this game buff your weapon with a certain elemental type. In this case, gold pine resin is lightning, so I can use this. And I'm going to trigger the boss by going part way and looking up. Alright, there he is. Now you can run like hell back and up this ladder. This is pretty much like the beginner's guide to this boss. He really isn't that hard to fight up close and personal, but it is satisfying to see this. Fuck yeah. And yeah, unfortunately when you do that, it does leave you at this terrible angle, and you're more likely to You're more likely to have shit like that done to you. But really, he's not that bad. And just like that, you can just sort of tank him out. Oh man, he didn't drop his weapon. That's a boss that can drop his weapon, but wait, okay. That boss can actually drop his weapon. You can use that if you have 30 strength, and if you upgrade it to plus 15, which I will go over weapon upgrades in the next episode, it has an S scaling in strength, which means you get more benefit by going over the strength requirement. Like, for example, with my broadsword, if I were to look down and to the left, you'll see it has a param bonus CEC in strength and dexterity, which means if I have more dexterity than the required amount, like more strength and dexterity than the required amount, like 10 strength, if I have more than 10 strength or endurance, which I have 14 strength and 11 dexterity, then I get a little bonus with my weapon. And you can see that right next to the physical attack of it right there in the ATK physical. It's actually plus 11. That's how much I'm getting. So now C's good. C's pretty basic. The lowest you can have is E, which you get barely anything. D, you get kind of something. I'm not sure on the exact numbers here, but C's you get some. You get pretty much the minimal amount. Well, not minimal amount. I shouldn't say that, but you get a pretty average amount of scaling. B is a really good scaling. It gives you a lot more, and A is really good, and S is the best you can have. And you can all assume what S scaling would be like. Okay, I'm gonna make my way back to the bonfire, and then I'm gonna cut the episode. But first, if you go on this bridge, if you see the little char mark right over there, the little black mark right over there, that will actually, if you run out there towards right around that area and come, well, actually, if you hit the char mark, I think it's either the pile of rubble over there or the char mark, it'll actually initiate the dragon. The dragon will swoop down and come in and breathe fire all along the bridge. You might die. I don't think my character would, since I have heavy armor on, but other characters might die. Like if you play as the thief, you might die at this part. But here's a way to get around that. If you start off as the thief character, you can just run out here, hit the rubble, come back, and there's the dragon. See all that flame? Yeah, that could have hit us. Now here's arguably everybody's favorite NPC.
Ah, hello. You don't know how to welcome. I am Samir of Astor, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Wind, to seek my very own son. Do you find that strange? Well, sure. No need to hide that. I get that all the time. Oh, aha. So I did feel you. I have a proposition, if you haven't noticed. The way I see it, our fate appears to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be a chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey? With who did you break it? Well then, take this. We are a strange being in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old changing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But you seem to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. What my summon to is defeated by a brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
He's a really neat character.
Oh, yes. I would say to her, the gaze of the sun. The sun is a wondrous body, like a magnificent father. If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
See if he has anything more to say.
Oh, hello there.
Nope. Also, to speed through the dialogue, just keep tapping X. Okay, it used to be that if you were to try and attempt to go on the bridge, the dragon would just keep breathing fire. But if you were, I think if you get a certain ways down, he'll breathe fire. But if you notice this little hub, these little divots over here, down here is a staircase. You go across, and if you go down, and this ladder, you kick the ladder, and now you have a shortcut. Now I'm gonna level up before I cut it off, but just so I can 20. Okay, I'll accept that. So I leveled up my strength. So, well. Oh, come on. Huh. It looks like my basis point is blanked out. Come on, to its skin. Bye, everybody.